Hey everyone, Johnny here with a new feature release video. Today we are launching email automations in beta. I say beta because it doesn't have all the features we want it to have quite yet, but we wanted to get it out to you sooner than later for you to start utilizing and getting your feedback. So how's it work? Email automations streamline repetitive tasks by sending timely, relevant emails to your customers based on specific triggers or actions. They're commonly used for confirmations, reminders, feedback requests, etc. So let's dive into how you can leverage email automations to boost efficiency and connect more effectively with your customers. First things first, you have to have some email templates made. So if you haven't made any templates, you'll need to do that first, and you can watch a video I made on that. I'll leave a link in the description, but let's go ahead and create a new one together anyways. So I'm going to come up here and say new email template, and let's build one that is an event reminder, and we'll include a checklist in the PDF. So I'm going to just say here, I'm going to say event reminder equipment checklist or something like that. Put that as the subject. I'm going to let AI generate that for me, and we're going to include an attachment. I'll say equipment instructions. All right, here we go. We got a template made by AI. I'm just going to save that, and then we'll close. So now we have our template made. Let's move on to the email automation. So up here in the top right, we have a new button for the email automations. We have a section here for the email automations. So I'm going to say new email automation. So we have a section here to learn more about email automations. If you haven't used email automations before, I highly recommend that you just read through this real quick. But it just goes through how it kind of works. Basically, it's pretty simple. We have a kind of a flow of if-else statements. So we say when the following action occurs, and then we have a number of predefined triggers. So for instance, when a draft becomes an estimate, or when an estimate becomes an invoice, or an estimate is signed, loaded, delivered, etc., when the rental start date occurs, that kind of stuff. So you'll select a trigger, and then what email template you want to be sent when that trigger occurs. So in our scenario here, we're creating a reminder email. So it makes sense that we want to pick the rental start date as our trigger. So we're going to say rental start date is a trigger, and we're going to send the following email template. So the one we want is the one that we just made, the event reminder equipment checklist. So when we select those two, then we get a couple more fields here. So this is where we actually say when to schedule this email. So we're going to pick N days before. So we have a few options here on the day of the trigger. So you could read this as this automation will run when triggered by the action rental start date. It will prepare emails to be sent out using the template event reminder equipment checklist. The email will be sent 1 day before the trigger occurs, or in our case, I'm going to say 2 days before the trigger occurs. And you can do that for N days after, on the day of the trigger. You can have both of those if you want. I'm just going to pick the one that makes the most sense, which is that we have it set as a scheduled 2 days before the trigger. And so down here we have kind of just a preview. This just has it in more of a colloquial language that describes the automation we're creating. So that all looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and close. And here's our automation that we just created. I'm going to edit the template name. If you don't put one in, it defaults to the trigger name, but I'm going to put one in here that makes it easier to remember what the template is. So I'm going to say equipment and event reminder 2 days before, and then I'm going to save that. Oh, one thing that I wanted to cover is the review. So while this feature is in beta, all emails created by automation must be reviewed before sending. So this option here is always enabled for now. But in the future, we're going to make it so that if you want to first review any emails for a given day, you check this. But it will also be possible to schedule emails that will be sent automatically without you having to do anything. But right now, just for kind of while we're working out any bugs, we're making it so that you have to review the scheduled emails beforehand. All right, so let's go ahead and make it so that some scheduled emails are created. It's important to note that simply creating an automation does not immediately actually schedule any emails. The automation is used as a blueprint to create the scheduled emails only when the condition is triggered. So let's create a new invoice so that that automation is triggered, which is a invoice being created or edited where the rental start date changes or is created. So we'll create a new order, and I said 2 days before, so we'll set it for the 18th, the rental start date, so that the scheduled email gets created for 2 days before that, the 16th. So I'm going to say the 18th, and then we'll go to the 20th, pick an event date, doesn't really matter, add an item real quick, and then we'll save this. All right, so now that we have created an invoice, that trigger, which was that a rental start date exists, basically, should have created a scheduled email for 2 days before the rental start date. So we set a rental start date for the 18th, 2 days before that should be the 16th. So let's go ahead and look at how we review our scheduled emails. So you'll come to the dashboard. This is where you will review and send scheduled emails. You can select any single day in the calendar. Note that it has to be a single day. So I'll pick tomorrow. Now, normally you probably wouldn't review and send scheduled emails for a different day than the current day, but for the purposes of this demo, I will. All right, so if there's any scheduled emails, you'll see this button appear here, Review Emails. So I'm going to click on that, and we can see here the one for the automation that we just created, Equipment and Event Reminder 2 days before. And then we have a few others from other tests that I was doing. So you'll see that there is a cancel button here. This is in case you need to cancel, for example, in case you just talked to them on the phone about the same thing that the email is covering, or they canceled the order and you don't need to email them anymore, or something like that. So you just click on cancel, and now that email won't be sent. So I'm going to cancel that one just to show you what that looks like. Cancel that one too. So now it says down here, send 2 emails, cancel 2 emails. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and this will send these 2 emails that we still have as green, and it's going to cancel these 2. So I'm going to click on that. All right, so now we can see that those 2 emails were sent and these 2 were canceled. And then, like with the regular template emails, any of those emails that are sent will show up in the notifications. And I just want to point out that that has been moved up to here now and will open like that. And when there are new messages, a red badge will appear on that bell icon. All right, so that is the new email automations feature currently in beta. We have more plans for this feature, so stay tuned. If you have any specific requests for triggers or custom automations, please let us know, and I will see you in the next one.